The quote, "If you want light to come into your life, you need to stand where it is shining," is a profound spiritual metaphor that speaks to personal responsibility, conscious alignment, and the intentional direction of one's inner life. At its core, this statement reminds us that transformation is not merely about wishing for change, but about positioning ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in environments and states of being that support growth, clarity, and truth. It suggests that light, understood spiritually as wisdom, peace, love, or divine awareness, is not absent from our lives. Rather, we often remain in the shadows of our own habits, beliefs, and fears, expecting illumination without movement. Spiritually, light has always symbolized awareness. It represents understanding over confusion, compassion over resentment, courage over fear, and faith over doubt. To live in the light is to live with clarity about who you are and what truly matters. But the quote gently challenges the assumption that light will come to us automatically. Instead, it implies that we must move toward it, that we must step out of the darkness of unconscious living and into the illumination of intentional existence. Many people desire peace, joy, or purpose, yet continue to dwell in environments or mindsets that perpetuate negativity. They may long for emotional healing while holding on to resentment. They may seek spiritual growth while clinging to limiting beliefs. They may desire fulfillment while remaining in patterns that drain their energy. In these cases, the light is available, but they are not standing where it shines. Standing where the light is shining requires awareness of where we are currently standing. Spiritually, this involves honest self-reflection. Are we nourishing our minds with thoughts that uplift or with narratives that diminish? Are we surrounding ourselves with people who inspire growth or with influences that reinforce fear and doubt? Are we engaging in practices that cultivate inner stillness or habits that scatter our attention? The shadows in our lives are not always external circumstances. Often they are internal patterns: fear of change, attachment to comfort, resistance to vulnerability. These patterns keep us in familiar darkness even when we yearn for illumination. The quote reminds us that wishing for light while refusing to move is futile. Just as a plant must grow toward the sun to thrive, the soul must orient itself toward truth and love. This orientation is not passive. It demands courage. To stand where the light is shining may mean leaving behind old identities or roles that no longer align with our evolving values. It may require stepping away from relationships that stifle growth. It may involve confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves. The process can be unsettling because it disrupts the stability of what we know, yet spiritual growth has always required movement. It is not about rejecting the past, but about refusing to let it dictate the future. When you move toward the light, you acknowledge that while darkness may have shaped your experiences, it does not define your destiny. You choose awareness over avoidance. Another dimension of this quote lies in the idea of receptivity. Light does not force itself upon us. It must be welcomed. To stand where it shines is to become open to allow new perspectives, insights, and possibilities to enter your awareness. This openness often involves humility, the willingness to admit that what once guided you may no longer serve you. Spiritually, this humility is transformative. It dissolves the illusion of self-sufficiency and invites connection. It allows you to learn from others, from nature, from silence. It creates space for wisdom to enter where certainty once reigned. Standing in the light also means aligning your actions with your intentions. It is not enough to aspire to kindness or integrity. These qualities must be embodied. When your choices reflect your values, your life becomes congruent. This congruence generates inner peace because it eliminates the tension between what you believe and how you behave. The quote also speaks to the importance of environment. Just as physical light varies by location, spiritual light is influenced by the context in which we place ourselves. A nurturing environment can amplify growth, while a toxic one can obscure clarity. Choosing where to stand, what to read, whom to trust, how to spend your time is a spiritual act. This is not to suggest that one should avoid all darkness. Challenges and uncertainties are inevitable and often necessary for growth, but there is a difference between encountering darkness as part of life and dwelling in it unnecessarily. The quote encourages us to seek out sources of illumination practices, relationships, and perspectives that nurture wisdom and compassion. Meditation, reflection, service, and creative expression are examples of standing in the light. These practices orient attention toward what is meaningful. They quiet the noise of external demands and allow inner guidance to emerge. Gratitude is another way of standing where the light shines. When you focus on what is present rather than what is lacking, you shift your perception. The same circumstances can appear bleak or abundant depending on where your attention rests. Gratitude trains the mind to recognize light even in imperfect conditions. Faith, too, plays a role. To move toward the light often involves stepping into uncertainty. You may not know what lies ahead, only that remaining where you are no longer serves you. Faith is the trust that growth awaits beyond discomfort. Over time, standing in the light transforms not only your perception, but your presence. You begin to reflect the qualities you have embraced. Your clarity influences others. Your compassion inspires trust. Your courage encourages resilience. In this way, the quote extends beyond personal benefit. By positioning yourself in the light, you become a source of light for others. Your choices ripple outward, affecting relationships and communities. Ultimately, the quote is a call to conscious participation in your own awakening. It affirms that, while light exists, access to it requires intention. It invites you to examine where you stand and to move, however gradually, toward what nourishes your spirit. The process is ongoing. There will be moments when you retreat into shadow, when fear or doubt clouds your vision, but each moment also offers the opportunity to step forward again. To stand where the light is shining is to live deliberately, to choose awareness over autopilot, compassion over resentment, courage over complacency. It is to recognize that illumination is not imposed from outside but invited through alignment. And when you take that step, however small, you may discover that the light was never far away. It was waiting for your willingness to move.